Okay, painting quick tip for the day, and it's not got a lot to do with painting. It has to do with what do you do after you get finished painting. Look at my hands. I was painting for a couple of hours, and I'm actually pretty neat, but I want you to notice, like, this paint is kind of sitting on the surface of my hand, but a lot of this paint is kind of like embedded into my skin, you know, and you don't really want paint to stay in your skin. It's not good for you. So how do you get it out of your skin? Lots of times when you wash your hands, you'll notice that you'll get that surfacey paint to come off, but this paint that is embedded down in here doesn't want to come out. Here's a little trick that I learned from an auto mechanic years ago, and it most certainly works with this getting paint off of you. So I'm using Dawn dishwashing liquid. I suppose you could use most any, but I like Dawn. Really seems to be thick, and I'm going to rub this all over my hands. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, I know how to wash my hands, but I want you to watch this. This is the trick, is something that has to do with the timing and process. So I'm continuing to rub, and I'm working it, and I'm kind of scratching the paint off a little bit if it's thick on there, just like you would ordinarily do. But what you may be noticing is time is going on. Time is continuing to roll forward, and I'm continuing to wash my hands. But I'm not adding any water to it. And I'm continuing to rub and rub. And what will happen is the dishwashing liquid is actually going to dry out. It gets kind of pasty. Over time, it just gets pastier and pastier and dried out more and more. And you know what's happening? It's embedding down into the tissue in my hands, just like the paint already was. Okay, and it's almost completely dry now. And now I'm going to rinse my hands off. So I waited for it to get to where it was just completely dry. And it takes a long time to get the soap to come off. You'll feel it like it's slippery feeling, and it stops being slippery when you got all the soap that was embedded down into your skin to actually come back out of your skin. So anywhere that you still feel like it's slippery, keep rubbing. You're like, Craig, this is not a quick tip, it's taking forever. Well, it's actually getting your hands clean because you embedded down in there, it lifted the paint, and then you completely rinsed it back out of your hands, so you don't have any of that in you anymore. Remember how my hands had that embedded stuff in there? Now, and definitely anything that was surfacey is gone. Look how clean. So I could stand to work on some around my fingernails, but that's the idea. So that's a good way to get your hands thoroughly clean after working with oil paints, which get that paint out of your hands because those are heavy metals. You don't need that in your system. Okay, thanks.